All right, for this next story, we are taking you back in time, and we mean way back to the mid-'70s in Terre Haute. That's when two teenage Kiss fans took their fandom to the next level, birthing an army of sorts that would add thousands of members to its ranks. Nicole Christine brings us the story of Kiss Army's origins.
Bill Starkey's adoration for Kiss wasn't immediate.
Listening to them really didn't catch me as much as seeing them on TV once. And they were on a program called In Concert. And I thought they were very different.
Then he saw them live as a teenager and realized he was made for loving this rock group and wanted to shout it out loud to his peers.
When I would go back to Terre Haute North and tell my classmates what I had seen, some of them would say, well, you've never been to any concerts, so what do you really know? And then I think the other thing that they would say that would kind of bother me was they'd say, well, if they're so great, how come they're not on the radio?
So began the calls from Bill and his friend Jay Evans to WVTS, the local radio station in Terre Haute, in 1974, encouraging the disc jockeys to get the party started.
We just started to call the radio station and ask them to play Kiss songs. And this went on for like several months. And then sometimes they would do stuff to like torment us, like they would play Kiss late at night when nobody would be listening, or they would play Kiss and not say it was Kiss. And so Jay or I would call up and give them a lot of crap.
Their efforts then evolved to another form of communication.
I'm friends with Bill Starkey's brother, John, and I would just be over at their house, and we would go down in the basement where Bill had all kinds of, unbelievable amount of albums and Kiss posters. And he and Jay Evans, they would be down in the basement writing letters to WVTS.
Letters penned from the quote-unquote Kiss Army. Former WVTS music director R.J. Courtwright remembers this ongoing effort, and former program director Rich Dickerson's resistance to Bill and Jay's calls.
Bill and I became friends, and I kind of explained to Bill Rich's view, and this is all in fun, and keep the letters coming.
And they did keep coming, an effort that paid off when Kiss announced a concert in Terre Haute in November 1975, a show Dickerson decided to hype up using the Kiss Army.
He said, listen, he goes, you know those stupid letters you guys have been writing and all that? He goes, 2 weeks before the show, why don't you write me a one every day, and we'll read them over the air during 5 o'clock rush hour, and we'll call it the Kiss Army letter of the day, and we'll lead it right up to the concert.
And then Bill, a young man starry-eyed, never satisfied, heard some life-changing news. The Holman Center concert had sold out.
And Kiss wants to meet you.
By then, the Kiss Army had expanded and was prepared for the band's arrival.
There were 4 of us that dressed up as the band, and now that the band Kiss call us the Unknown Soldiers. They were just as curious about us as we were about them.
In the following decades, Bill, Jay, and other members of the Kiss Army spent more time with the band than many fans could imagine, receiving honorary member plaques, making onstage appearances, and proving that teenage dreams can become legendary realities.
Jay and I were doing this as a couple of goof-offs like Wayne's World. We didn't have any idea that Kiss would sell out or that they would like what we were doing and wanted to use it as a fan club. I would not be surprised, and I would hope someday that maybe the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame would also include the Kiss Army as part of an induction ceremony, because it's just a unique group of people.
That's a great story. To hear more memories from Kiss Army members, check out this story on our website, mywabashvalley.com.